Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning, episode 362, back on the topic of the NFL, bringing you another bold predictions for 2021. But before we get into that, question of the day. The Cleveland Browns just won a playoff game this year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was their first playoff win since when? Again, comment the answer below if you know it, and stick around to the end of the video. If you don't, we'll reveal the answer then. But Jay, obviously, like I said, we did this video earlier this week about bold predictions for this year. Give me another one.
Circling back to the Cleveland Browns, Odell Beckham, I guess you could say the number one receiver for the Cleveland Browns. I believe he will be traded from the Cleveland Browns this year. They're paying him, I think it's somewhere between $16 and $18 million. I don't know the exact number, but they're paying him that much money, and they got that far without him to the divisional round. You could say maybe if he was healthy, they could have gotten to the AFC Championship or even further, but I think they will trade him, take that $18 million that they're saving, and use it elsewhere, hopefully on the defense. But the receiving core, to me, is doing just fine. The receiving core, really, it's not the best by any means, but that's not where your money is. The money is in the backfield and your workhorse between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Baker Mayfield's just being conservative. He's a game manager with Jarvis Landry and his tight ends, Austin Hooper and David Njoku. They could get the jobs done, and I think they could spend $18 million to back up that defense. Offensive line is great. Get some pass rush there, help out Myles Garrett, help out Denzel Ward in the secondary, and this team could be very lethal. I like Odell Beckham, and I hope he saves his career somewhere else, but I think they can use that money much better and execute better and go further in the playoffs without him if they get their money situated.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there, but I think the Browns obviously came up shorter than what they wanted, and I think he could have been a difference maker in that game where the Chiefs were missing Patrick Mahomes for the last quarter. And we saw Baker Mayfield really tune out the interceptions at the end of last year and really improve his ability at quarterback. So I think they're going to be throwing the ball more in the future. So I think they stick with OBJ, but that is a good possible take. For me, my first bold take of the video is going to be the Miami Dolphins take Devontae Smith and he wins Rookie of the Year. I think if the Miami Dolphins do draft him, this is very likely. I know there's a lot of arguments about his frame. He's obviously a very skinny guy, so he could be a bust in the NFL, but I think he has got the skill set to be elite as long as the Jets don't take him.
Yeah, I mean, Tua and Devontae Smith clearly have chemistry. They won the national title together in college, so they've already been talking about possibly playing together. Of course, there's a couple problems in Devontae Smith's way of Rookie of the Year. Trevor Lawrence, of course. Justin Fields, of course. Zach Wilson, of course. It goes to the quarterback a lot. Justin Jefferson had an amazing rookie year this year, and it still went to Justin Herbert. I think he deserves it. But I think another receiver that could take it away from Smith, if it somehow came down to receivers, would be Jamar Chase if he ended up with Joe Burrow. Another two that have chemistry together, like Tua and Devontae Smith. It'd be cool to see those QB wide receiver duos match up again in the NFL and see how they do together.
Bring me another one.
Another one, I think the Lions, new trade with Jared Goff. This will result in them getting a top 3 pick in the NFL draft, resulting in them being one of the worst 3 teams in the NFL this year. I think Jared Goff's going to get exposed. Lions are very awful this year. They went 5-11 with Matthew Stafford. Now they got Jared Goff, and I think they'll be even worse. They play pretty tough divisions between the AFC North, such as the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and then they also play the NFC West between the Seahawks, Niners, Rams, and who's the last one?
The Cardinals.
Cardinals. That's 2 tough divisions they're going to have to face alone with the teams in the division between the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. I don't see Jared Goff doing well. The only reason I don't have them going number 1 overall is because I think the Texans are going to lose Deshaun Watson and they're going to free fall, and I think they might lock up number 1. I think Jared Goff will get exposed and result in one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that this is pretty realistic. The Lions really had not much other than Stafford, so you throw an average quarterback in there, and I think that is going to happen.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
All right, for me, my next one is that Dak Prescott will find a home somewhere other than Dallas. Obviously, there's been issues with having to franchise tag him. He demands $40+ million, whatever. They have not re-signed him, and it's obviously not late in the offseason by any means, but I expected it to happen by now. It hasn't. Dak battling an injury this past season, which happened week 4 or 5, so he missed almost the entire year, and I think that since his time there, while he did win, 13 games his rookie year and had some solid seasons, the Cowboys have really gone nowhere, and I think both the team and Dak will part ways, and I think obviously, my bold take is that he leaves Dallas, but if he does, I got him going to Washington. They have a very good defensive front and a talented backfield, and obviously a good receiver. So I got Dak leaving Dallas and possibly going to Washington.
As much as I want him to leave, just because his quarterback offseason is insane between all the quarterbacks moving around, Watson, maybe Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, and so on, I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll get a huge extension. I think they will franchise tag him one more time just to see what he could do under the pressure. Yeah. Last bold prediction for me, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, in contingency that they have the same roster. They re-sign everyone, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Leonard Fournette, Robert Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, so on and so forth. They will repeat back-to-back. Brady will do it. He will get his 8th ring. Very bold, but greatest quarterback of all time. You can't doubt him yet. He hasn't showed us that he's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's a good take for me. I got unless the Niners get Deshaun, you think NFC is coming down to the Rams or the Bucks. That's obviously that right there is a bold take that it would be that simple. But I don't think I already said last video the Packers are going to fall off. Mm-hmm. So I think between those two teams, I think Tom Brady's got a good shot at repeating. Plus the strongest part of that argument is that it's Tom Brady.
To me, the hardest part of that argument is not even them repeating; it's just them getting the same team back together. Not the fact of them actually getting there; it's just getting there with the same team.
Agreed. All right, so for me, my last bold take coming into next season is that the Bills will win the AFC. Not necessarily win the Super Bowl, but I got Bills coming out on top of the AFC. You got Josh Allen, who ever since he got into the league has just been on an incline. They picked up a top 5 receiver in the league, and it's Stephon Diggs, top 3 if you want to make the argument. And I think their defense was not bad. What they need is a running back. They pick up a guy, say Najee Harris in the draft, who could easily slip. What are they going to have? Probably 25th or 6th pick, whatever they have.
Pretty
late pick for the Bills.
28, 29.
Yeah, 28, 29. Late pick for the Bills. So Najee Harris could slide back. For an example, he's a good example of a running back that could change up their whole team. Could even slide into the second round. So I got the Bills picking up a running back because that's what they need is a running game, and I got them winning the AFC.
Yeah, if they could pull that great offseason off, getting the run game, they're keeping their offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll. That was one of the biggest concerns this offseason, that they might lose their offensive game plan.
This close to Chargers.
Yeah, so I do like the Bills if they can have the right offseason, but right now, just because we haven't seen what they're going to do yet, I'm still going to roll the Chiefs to be the favorite in the AFC.
All right. That's all for video, guys. Comment below if you have any more bold takes for this year. I know there's a lot of options there, but as far as the question of the day, the Cleveland Browns won their first playoff game, or had their first playoff win this season since 1994. That's a long time. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. 2 in the morning.